Hello and welcome back. So we've made it to day 11. How's it going? Is your ego getting triggered yet? Hey, what's up? Is your ego getting triggered? Have you noticed that these lessons are becoming a blow to the ego? That's what Jesus is going to talk about today. But first, I know I said a couple days ago that I wasn't going to reiterate the lesson a whole lot or tell you how to do it. But in my world, I like to contradict everything that I say and commit to. One day I'll be like, no, I'm never doing that. And 2 days later, I'm like, you know what? Sign me up. So yeah, I know I said that I was not going to talk about the lesson because I do have a video for that. You have your book, you have your app, you have Tina Jesus, you have whoever it is who's reading you the lesson, or you big boy now, you can read a lesson on your own. But today, I just kind of wanted to sit with it, I guess for myself, because I want to make sure I'm practicing it. I want to make sure I'm doing it. Yeah, I have to make sure that, yes, I'm reading it. Yes, I'm talking about it. Yes, I'm making this video. And yet, I'm such a little shit, I could still not do it, right? Oh, I read it. Yeah, but did you do it? Just narrating it isn't enough, Sadie. You actually have to do it. So today is the first idea we have had, I'm just reading this, that is related to a major phase of the correction process. So the lesson itself is saying, hey, baby, we moving on now. We're moving into the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. So it seems, according to the workbook, as if the world determines what you perceive, and today's idea kind of introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. This is no major news for me personally. I've been on this path of realizing that I'm doing all this, all the bullshit, I did it. So Course in Miracles isn't introducing anything new to me per se with that, but the way they're going about it is new. The lesson says, be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. And the key to forgiveness lies in it. So it's you're supposed to close your eyes and say the lesson to yourself, which is, my meaningless thoughts. What is it? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And then you open up your eyes and you repeat, you look it around, you see things, right? Just sort of here or there. And you repeat the idea to yourself as you look at the chair, as you look at the cup beside you, as you look at everything. And you just say, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. So relaxed, casual. In bold print in my book, it says, it contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation, and freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. And Jesus is going to also say that too. Even if these lessons seem stupid or what, or it really is triggering your ego, and your ego's this is hogwash, quit. That's your ego wanting you to stop, because the ego knows it's its end days. A Course in Miracle is end days for the ego. So when you get discouraged, it's be wiser than that. Don't let yourself quit, because you're on the path now. Just keep going. Just keep going. So you look around, you say, oh, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world, on then a minute, just do that for a minute, I guess. And then close your eyes again, repeat it to yourself again. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And yeah, just a few practice periods are good enough. Sufficient. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I had some notes, and yeah, I'm excited to share with them. Truly, you should be hanging out with Jesus yourself, because today he said so much that I was like, I can't write all this down, Jesus. I can't. So, Jesus, what's up, my man? Jesus and Tina and Jesus and TJ and JC and really awesome today. Big time. Just, you should probably go listen to it for yourself. Jesus was talking about how these lessons can be a blow to the ego. Whew. Yeah, I was already starting to step on that myself. Jesus just stepped up to confirm it today. Yeah, lessons be a blow to the ego. The ego will react, but we gonna practice anyways. We're gonna keep on training our mind towards love because that's gonna bring us peace. So Jesus talked all about that today, all about the fact that we are eternal beings and what got him started on that. And I know this is going to, I know one person in my personal life that this would totally not sit with at all. But hey, I'm just the reporter here. Don't crucify the messenger. Jesus talked about the cross and the crucifixion today. And he is like, the crucifixion was not a sacrifice at all. He says, I did not martyr myself. And so that's gonna, not go along with the narrative of the church and the Bible and all that to say. But he was saying, and this is why I'm like, go listen to it for yourself. But basically he said the crucifixion was a demonstration of his ability to overcome death. Like the body is nothing. It's only temporary. He's an eternal being. I'm an eternal being. You're an eternal beings. Yay. We're all eternal beings. And the body, his body, did not get resurrected. He created a new one. I know. That's what he said. He created a new body. The crucifixion was a demonstration of his ability to overcome death. It was not sacrifice. He did not martyr himself. He was demonstrating this body is nothing. It's only temporary. And powwow, look at this, guys. I can create a new one. All right. So anyways, his message to us in our daily lives, hey, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, okay? Don't argue with me, my beloved, sweetheart Christian friends. I wasn't there. Neither were you. But Jesus today is saying, do not act as a victim of this world. It is your untrained mind that brings you all this bullshit. So let's just stick to the lessons and clearing our mind. And Jesus said with these lessons, with these A Course in Miracles lessons, you too can become a great being like me. And he's like, yeah, I'm allowed to say I'm a great being. There's no need for false modesty. I am a great being. I have reached great levels of consciousness. And so can you. And isn't that basically what he said in the Bible too? He's like, you can do what I do. You can be like me. Follow me. Be like me. So you can be great like me. So there you go. Do your lessons. We want to clear our mind of dead ideas. And he talked about that too in the Tina Jesus. And if you want to connect with Tina Louise Spalding, you can go to her channel. I have a link to the playlist of all these videos in the description box. But it's like death, destruction, all that. This is ego stuff. This is us miscreating. Now, don't worry, because, yeah, you have been miscreating, but it's okay. Don't worry, because all mistakes can be corrected. So they're just errors. They're just mistakes. We haven't actually, even though we've been fucking up, we haven't screwed up anything that can't be fixed. Everything can be corrected. It's just a mistake, and mistakes can be corrected. Just like if this was in pencil, I could erase it and write it again. Now it's in Sharpie, and you'll say, haha, it's permanent. Actually, you can take Sharpie off with rubbing alcohol. So actually there's nothing permanent here. Not even a Sharpie. We are headed towards joy with A Course in Miracles. So just keep that in your mind. We are headed towards joy, even though our egos might react and what do you say, get blown? Lessons be a blow to the ego. Yeah, the ego's not going to like some of this, but keep on going because you're headed towards joy. Now, it was also a joy to listen to the Pathways of Light for lesson 11. It's massive, and so I'll probably just let it sink into you without too many notes. But the takeaways that I took away was take meaningless thoughts to the Holy Spirit for a transformed perspective. All right, so it's like anytime we have any type of stress or judgment or offense, anytime we're offended or we're not sure what to do or overwhelmed, whatever, take your meaningless thoughts to the Holy Spirit for a transformed perspective and watch things get solved in your life. Watch mistakes be corrected. Watch things get easier for you. So practice and release false ideas was the topic of the Pathways of Light today. And yeah, the thing that stuck out to me the most today was about the ego and how the ego wants to keep you focused on and trapped in physical reality. So that's it. The ego wants you to be stressed out. The ego wants you to be looking outside of yourself. The ego wants all of this because that's where it wants to keep you. It wants to prevent you from becoming a great being with Jesus. So when your ego flares up, put some hemorrhoid cream on it, you know what I mean? Because that's literally what the ego is becoming, a pain in your ass. So try just to keep it all in check and realize that the way out of the dream is to flip it all around. And that's exactly what we'll listen to today in the Pathways of Light. Oh my God, I hate it when I use the hemorrhoid analogy. Anyways, get rid of all the pains in your butts, okay? For sure. Those were the notes. Yeah, but hello, you're an eternal being, okay? This body, this hemorrhoid, this hemorrhoid of a life, it's not going to be forever. It's just temporary. You are an eternal being. So the body is nothing. Take that, ego. The body is nothing. So yeah, Jesus said a lot today. Whoo! Yeah, and I tried to, just tell you what he said. And I can just count on two hands. People I know personally that would not be happy to hear what Jesus said today. But hey, don't kill the messenger. Haha, don't crucify the messenger. I'm just telling you what he said, but I totally agree with him. So go ahead and kill me. This body is nothing. Okay, so flip it all around. That's basically what the Pathways of Light's going to talk about now. Get cozy, finish your water, whatever you need to do. Listen though, okay? Listen to these insights. They are so beneficial. They really are. And it is wonky and crazy. The Course in Miracles, it's just saying the exact opposite of everything I thought was true. Okay, but it's going to lead you on the path to peace, freedom, forgiveness, happiness, and joy. And you can't really argue with that until you do the Course. Because what you've been doing has not led you to all that good stuff. Peace, happiness, joy, freedom, whatever. Whatever. What you've been doing has manifested nothing but bullshit. So it's time now to try something different. So if your ego does flare up, who doesn't think of hemorrhoid cream when you hear the word flare up? So anyways, just keep it all under check, okay? If the ego starts acting like a little hemi, just, subdue it, ignore it, and keep on practicing, keep on going, keep on reading, keep on tuning in, keep on hanging out with me. We're going to flip it all around, and that's what the Pathways of Light's going to talk about. We're going to flip it all around, and we're going to find our way out of this dream. pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles, Workbook Lesson 11, Insights. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. When I am experiencing physical discomfort, a headache, a cold, or any bodily discomfort, it seems difficult to believe that my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. It seems easy to fall into old patterns of assigning meaning to what the pain or discomfort might mean. Sometimes I frighten myself with the meanings I make up, which seems to make it even more difficult to believe that it is my meaningless thoughts that are the cause of this story. The same holds true if I have taken offense to what somebody says or does. The anger or resentment or grievance seems justified and certainly not meaningless, let alone the effect of my meaningless thoughts. Yet this lesson is telling me that this idea is the key to the freedom and peace that I seek. As much as I want this peace, it is surprising how much resistance there seems to be to applying this idea in certain aspects of my life. I want to make exceptions, yet the lessons are saying that it is the lack of exceptions that makes these ideas so powerful as a healing aid. At this point, it is helpful to acknowledge the resistance and apply the idea anyway, even if I realize that part of me doesn't want to. As it says in the introduction of the workbook, active resistance doesn't matter. What is important is doing the exercises. They are designed to bring about the healing I really want. They will help me move past the resistance. Like the biblical story of the man who asked Jesus for healing, saying, "I believe, help my unbelief." These exercises will help me move past the unbelief. I have been through the workbook many times. I can see progress. I make less exceptions. For that, I am grateful because with less exceptions comes greater peace. It is worth the practice. I need to be reminded that it is my thoughts that are the cause of the meaningless world I see. Many times it seems like the opposite is true. I really want to recognize the cause of my life experience. I do want to return to the truth. And right now I see that this is very helpful. It is my meaningless thoughts that are showing me a meaningless world. If I want to change anything out there in the world, I need first to look at my thoughts, because that is the real cause of what I am seeing. I want to practice catching or seeing my meaningless thoughts for what they are. I want to practice taking these meaningless thoughts to the Holy Spirit for a transformed perspective. I want to see what is going on in my mind. Unless I really see what is happening in my mind and recognize that this is the cause of what I see in the outside world, I will stay right where I am. I am determined to heal my mind. Today's lesson is a very useful tool for me to help me reverse my false ideas about what is real. Stepping back and pausing to remember that my meaningless thoughts are the cause of the meaningless world I see is very helpful to me. Because I believe the opposite so often, I need this thought reversal exercise. When I think I know what is going on, this brings a little humility to my mind. This helps me to refrain from being a know-it-all. This helps me remember to go to the one who knows, waiting there in my mind to help refresh my memory, to help me heal or let go of those false ideas which seem so real sometimes. Right now, I feel very grateful that I have the opportunity to practice these lessons day by day. I recognize that I really do need this practice. Straighten my mind, my Father. It is in need of healing. I am thankful that these lessons are here for me to practice. The same holds true if I have taken offense to what somebody says or does. The anger or resentment or grievance seems justified. I was so glad to read those lines this morning. This is exactly what I am dealing with right now. Last night, someone significant in my life unfairly attacked me, and it came right out of the blue, which seems to make it harder to deal with. I hate the way it makes me feel when I am resentful and hurt. I wasted some time trying to forgive with my ego. I tried ego reasoning. I tried to pretend it didn't happen. I tried to decide I didn't care. This morning, I woke up thinking about it, and it wasn't any better. I remembered that my thoughts do not mean anything, that they are based on beliefs. I meditated, and in the meditative state, I gave all of these feelings and thoughts behind them to Holy Spirit and asked for a new way to see it. I felt better, but every once in a while I started thinking about talking to him about what he said. No matter how I couched the conversation in loving words, the fact is I want him to take it back. I am believing that this is his problem and that he did something to me. So you see why I am so pleased with today's lesson. I truly want to change my mind. I thank Holy Spirit every time I become aware of a feeling of resentment, anger, or fear, because he is just letting me know that I need to fully release this and haven't done so yet. As I think of my thoughts as meaningless and as showing me a meaningless world, I realize that what I used to base every perception I have on is an ego that wants to keep me focused in the physical reality or dream state, where I am trapped into a roller coaster of emotions and events that leave me exhausted, desperate, confused, and frustrated. This is not a life. This is an absurd existence. I have often thought that there is nothing real here because the nature of this existence seems so ungodly. And deep within me, I know that this place where I have put so much energy and emphasis is not real. It means nothing. This ego has nothing to offer me. These thoughts have nothing to offer me. What I see around me has offered me nothing in my 34 years on this planet other than a roller coaster of emotions that always brings me back to very low states. There is nothing here that I want. So I turn all of this over to God and ask that He show me light and truth and cleanse me of these unreal thoughts and replace them with truth. That is the only way out. Everything that I have ever wanted, wealth, success, freedom from the 9-to-5 trap, a wonderful marriage, children. I turn them over to God and put them in His hands, because as I go within, I find one truth, which has remained through all my searches and both dark and bright moments. God has always helped me. God has always given me wonderful gifts. God has brought me light when I was in my darkest hours. God has even brought me to ACIM twice now. The first time, I did not heed the call. I only bought the book and read a little, then felt overwhelmed and tossed it aside. The second time, this past month, I was ready, after having gone through very long and dark hours and having God answer me many times, too many to really count. My one truth seems to be, thy will, not my will. Thy will, not my will. For when I turn my need to control everything over to God, and when I just let go and believe that I will be cared for, and I will be cared for very well if I just let God do it for me, through me, then I am fine. Only then am I fine. That is the irony of it. Try to do it yourself, and it's a tug of war where all of it gets worse. Let go and say, here you go, you handle it. And all of it gets better almost instantly. One would think that it would be the other way around. However, we seem to be in a land of opposites in this dreaming state. What appears to be real is definitely not. What appears to make sense is senseless. What appears to be truth is a lie. Flip all of this around, and I see that what appears to be the lie is truth. What appears to be senseless or beyond the senses is the answer. What appears to be unreal holds the key. In dreams, nothing makes sense. And the way out of a dream for me is just asking to wake up. God is the key indeed. pathwaysoflight.org. All right, so that was a lot. Seriously, you deserve a cookie. My meaningless cookies are showing me a meaningless dream. Is that what it says? You know, I can't actually see the cookie here. But nonetheless, you deserve a cookie. You deserve a pat on the back. You deserve a hug. You deserve to commend yourself for taking any initiative and a willingness and an openness to allow your perspective to be transformed by the Holy Spirit and by, I mean, if, whoever you want to give credit to. Like, it's just so funny to me because, like, I used to, like, always be like, give it the universe. Let me ask the universe. Let me give it over to the universe. You know, thank you, universe, for sending me this. Like, it's not any different to say, let me ask the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, will you help me with this one? Let me hand it over to the Holy Spirit. Let me consult and meditate with the Holy Spirit. Like, it's really not a big thing for me to replace my universe lingo with the Holy Spirit lingo. So I try to realize this. So whenever I hear somebody using other lingo that maybe doesn't fit my lingo, ultimately, I know it's all the same thing. So I think in our lives, we should really not get caught up in the words so much and understand, you know, whether we think this way or that way about it. Hey, they're all meaningless. All right. Well, I tried to give you an awesome outro video, and hey, it's Monday. So thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Practice and release your false ideas. That's what I'm going to do today. Okay, bye.